Let's talk about being watched, not in the fun way. This is the quiet, constant, and frankly a little creepy kind of watching. It's the feeling you get walking down a city street. You look up, you see a small dark dome. It sees you back. We are living in a world where the walls, quite literally, have eyes. Every single day we move through a landscape that is silently recording our every move. It's all part of the background noise of modern existence, a system designed for our safety, our convenience, our security, or so we are told. But with every new lens, the picture it paints of our lives becomes more and more detailed. This isn't some far-off dystopian future, this is right here, right now. The technology that once seemed like fantasy is now just Tuesday. They are woven into the very fabric of our cities, our homes, and our digital lives. They watch, they learn, they analyze, and most of the time we don't even notice they are there. The question is, are we okay with that? So, what does all this watching actually look like? It's not just a camera pointing at a thing. No, that would be too simple. It's much more sophisticated. Imagine walking through a crowded shopping mall. To you, it's just a sea of people. To the system, it's a collection of data points. A red box appears around your face on a screen you can't see. It tracks your path. A heat map shows where you linger, what displays catch your eye. Your phone, sitting in your pocket, is also talking, sharing your location, your browsing habits, your recent purchases. It's a digital ghost of you, following a few steps behind, and it knows you better than you think. This digital overlay isn't just for catching shoplifters anymore. It's for marketing. It's for improving the customer experience. It's for gathering information on a massive scale. Animated infographics, the kind that look really slick in a corporate presentation, show this growth in horrifyingly cheerful charts. The number of cameras worldwide is exploding. The amount of data collected by private companies and public agencies is staggering. We live in a world where countries are ranked not by their GDP but by their surveillance density. Yes, that's a real metric, it's a competition, and frankly, it's one you probably don't want your country to win. And where does most of this data come from? Oh, you'll love this part. It comes from us. Willingly. Every time you scroll through your phone, you are feeding the beast. Every time you click, accept all cookies without reading a single word, and let's be honest, who reads that? You are giving away a piece of yourself. Every time you grant an app permission to access your contacts, your microphone, your location, you are opening a new window for someone to look through. We talk near our smart speakers asking for the weather, and they are always listening, just waiting for that wake word. We are active participants in our own surveillance. It's a strange new reality. We are both the product and the consumer, the watched and, in a way, the watcher. We've built a digital panopticon, a prison where the guard might not be watching at any given moment, but the possibility that they could be is enough to change our behavior. We've traded privacy for convenience, freedom for a sense of security. But as these systems become more powerful, more interconnected, and more intelligent, we have to start asking the hard questions. Who is on the other side of the lens? What are they doing with all this information? And most importantly, what happens when it's used against us? Let's zoom in on these modern marvels of surveillance. They are everywhere and getting smarter. Think about the streets you walk every day. They analyze and identify. A license plate reader doesn't just see a car, it logs the plate, the time, and the location, adding it to a massive database. The airport is another example. Now you might just walk through a gate, look at a screen, and get a green light. That's facial recognition at work. Each scan adds another layer to your digital profile, a profile you never asked for. It's about the network. All these different systems are starting to talk to each other. It's a vast, invisible web, and we are all caught in it. The most brilliant part of this whole setup, it's subtlety. We are being monitored so constantly that we've become conditioned to it. The question is no longer if you are being watched, but by how many systems and for what purpose. You might think your home is your private space, is it? Take the smart doorbell. It records everyone who walks by, uploading footage to a corporate cloud, shared with law enforcement and analyzed by algorithms. It's a data collection point for an entire neighborhood. Inside, smart speakers are always listening. What else do they hear? What happens to those recordings? Then there's your phone, the most powerful tracking device ever invented. It knows your location, your friends, your health, your financial situation. Every app wants a piece of that information. We just don't always know the full price we are paying. We have willingly placed surveillance devices in our pockets and in our homes. So we have cameras in our streets and microphones in our homes. What binds it all together? Data, your data. Every time you go online, you leave a trail of digital breadcrumbs. It's called your digital footprint, and honestly, it's enormous. Every website you visit, every search you make, every item you like is logged, stored, and analyzed. This is the world of corporate surveillance, and it is arguably more pervasive and less regulated than its government counterpart. Companies you've never even heard of build complex profiles about you all so they can sell you something more effectively. Or sell your profile to someone else who wants to sell you something. This is where things get even more insidious. It's not just about ads for shoes following you around the internet. That's annoying but relatively harmless. The real issue is how this data is used to shape your reality. The news you see, the opinions you are exposed to, the job opportunities that appear in your feed, all of it can be tailored based on the profile these companies have built about you. They are not just selling you products, they are selling you a version of the world. A version designed to keep you engaged, keep you clicking, and keep you generating more data. It's a feedback loop, and it's very hard to escape. Think about the sheer scale of this. Animated charts can show the exponential growth of global surveillance, but the numbers are almost too big to comprehend. Zettabytes of data. That's 1 trillion gigabytes. It represents countless moments from billions of lives, all vacuumed up and stored on servers around the world. We are living through the single greatest expansion of monitoring capabilities in human history, and it's driven not just by governments seeking security, but by corporations seeking profit. We are the raw material for a new digital economy. Our attention, our behavior, our lives, we are the product. This constant harvesting of information has become normalized. We've accepted that free services aren't really free. We pay with our data. But the terms of this deal are constantly changing and never in our favor. The systems are becoming more opaque, the algorithms more complex, and the potential for misuse more severe. We are willingly handing over the keys to our digital lives, often without fully understanding who we are giving them to or what doors they might unlock. We are all walking, talking data points, ready to be analyzed. The real question is, who is doing the analysis, and what are they looking for? Let's talk about the explosion of surveillance systems. It's happening at a mind-boggling speed, a silent digital big bang that is happening all around us. In the last few years, the number of surveillance cameras has shot straight up like a rocket. It is the greatest expansion of monitoring in the entire history of humanity, and it's just getting started. The private sector is leading the charge. Every smart device, every app, every website is pumping raw data from our daily lives. The most incredible part is how quickly it became normal. Governments and corporations are building vast empires out of our personal lives. The expansion is already here. What comes next? Let's play Guess the Surveillance Superpower. Countries are now compared based on their surveillance density. That's the number of cameras per person. Some cities have nearly one public CCTV camera for every 2 citizens. A complete network of eyes can follow an individual across the city. This creates a detailed, permanent digital map of public life. Democratic nations and authoritarian regimes alike are embracing mass surveillance. It's becoming harder to escape the unblinking gaze of a camera. The number of eyes is growing. It's a global phenomenon. Okay, so we've covered the government cameras on the street, that's the obvious stuff. But now let's turn to a different kind of watcher. One that is arguably more pervasive, more personal, and far less accountable. Let's talk about corporate surveillance. This is the constant monitoring that happens not on the street corner, but on your screen. Every click, every search, every like, every purchase, it's all being watched. Not by a government agent in a trench coat, but by an algorithm on a server farm owned by a company whose name you might not even know. This is the surveillance of your digital life. Think of it as a vast, invisible panopticon built not of steel and concrete, but of code and cookies. You are at the center, and countless companies are watching. Social media platforms track what content makes you stop scrolling. E-commerce sites log every product you look at. Search engines keep a record of every curiosity that pops into your head. They do this to build a profile of you, a shockingly intimate digital avatar that knows your age, your location, your income, your interests, your political views, and your deepest insecurities. And what do they do with this perfect model of you? They sell it, or more accurately, they sell access to it. This brings us to the wonderful world of app permissions. You know the drill. You download a new app, and it asks for access. Access to your camera, your microphone, your contacts, your location. And what do? We click allow. We click it without a second thought because we want the app to work. We want to apply that funny filter to our photo. We want to find the nearest coffee shop. We have been conditioned to trade our privacy for functionality. It's a terrible bargain, but we make it dozens of times a day. each allow is another brick in the wall of our own digital prison, a prison we pay for with our own data. The result is a surveillance state that we have opted into, willingly. We carry its primary tool in our pockets and invite its listening devices into our homes. Corporate surveillance is successful because it is disguised as a service. It is framed as personalization. We're just trying to show you more relevant ads, they say. We're just improving your user experience. But what it really is a relentless, commercially driven system of behavior monitoring and modification. They are not just watching you, they are learning how to influence you. And that is a power that few of us truly understand the consequences of. And then there's the sound. The final frontier of home surveillance. Let's talk about smart speakers. These sleek little cylinders and pucks have become a staple in millions of homes. They are incredibly convenient. They can play your favorite song, tell you the weather, order you a pizza, and settle a family argument about who was the third man on the moon. To do this, they need one crucial thing: to be listening, all the time. They are designed to be perpetually on, perpetually waiting for that one special wake word that will bring them to life. Alexa. Hey Google, a modern open sesame. But what about all the other words? The companies behind these devices swear up and down that they are not recording your every conversation. They say the device only starts recording and sending data to the cloud after it hears the wake word, and that is mostly true, mostly. But there are countless reports of accidental activations, a word on the television that sounds like Alexa, a slip of the tongue in a conversation. In those moments, a snippet of your private life, a conversation, an argument, a moment of vulnerability, is captured, sent to a server, and often reviewed by a human employee for quality control. This is the foundation of what you might call the listening economy. Our desire for hands-free convenience has opened our homes to corporate microphones. It's not just speakers, it's smart TVs, it's gaming consoles, it's even some new refrigerators. More and more of the devices we surround ourselves with have the capacity to listen, and we've just sort of accepted it. We've invited these digital eavesdroppers into our most private spaces. We talk freely in front of them, forgetting that they are not just inert pieces of plastic and silicon. They are network-connected endpoints for some of the largest corporations on Earth. This raises a fundamental question about the nature of privacy in the 21st century. If your home is no longer a guaranteed private space, where can you go? We have traded the sanctity of our homes for the ability to order paper towels with our voice. It's a strange trade-off when you think about it. The risk isn't necessarily that a company is actively spying on your every word. The risk is in the potential. The risk is in the data being stored, the possibility of it being hacked, subpoenaed by law enforcement, or used in ways we cannot yet imagine. We have filled our homes with ears that are always on, and always on the record. We have this massive network of eyes and ears. The answer is always security. It's a trade-off. You give up privacy, and in return, you get safety. This is the argument for the entire surveillance state: security versus freedom. In that corner is freedom. The freedom to be anonymous. The freedom to gather, to protest, and to speak your mind. It's not as clean as a world of total surveillance, but it's the bedrock of a democratic society. And it's a space that is shrinking with every new camera installed. The problem is that the terms are never clear. All those small steps add up. We are trading away a fundamental right for a feeling of safety. Is the shield of security becoming a cage? There are people, privacy experts, digital rights activists, academics, who've been warning us for years. They're not anti-technology or anti-safety, they're against unchecked power. They remind us, power, once given, is rarely returned. And mass surveillance is power on a scale we've never seen. These experts warn about the permanence of data. Your digital mistakes and protests can follow you for life. They ask, who's accountable when the system fails? What happens when your data leaks? How do we protect dissent? Their message: demand safeguards, transparency, and accountability before we sign away our freedom. This debate is about us, the ordinary people caught between convenience and control. Every time we use a smart device or click, "I agree," we trade a bit of privacy for ease. The convenience is real, but so is the loss of control. We don't know who has our data or how it's used. Stories of data breaches and algorithmic mistakes make us uneasy, but opting out is hard and isolating. We want safety and freedom, but the choice feels rigged. Most of us just keep using the services, even as the surveillance grows. The core dilemma: participate fully and be watched, or opt out and be left behind. Surveillance systems promise security, but when they fail, the fallout is real. Data leaks expose our lives to criminals. The very data meant to protect us becomes a weapon. Facial recognition gets it wrong, especially for women and people of color, leading to wrongful arrests and ruined lives. These aren't rare glitches, they're happening now, amplifying human error and bias at scale. The system is powerful but fragile, and when it breaks, people pay the price. We traded privacy for security but often end up with neither. The machine's flaws are not just technical, they're deeply human. The real danger is when surveillance works perfectly for control, not safety. In authoritarian regimes, these tools are used to track, intimidate, and silence dissent. Protesters are identified, monitored, and punished. Self-censorship becomes the norm. This isn't just over there, these technologies are spreading everywhere, blurring the line between security and repression. Surveillance enforces conformity without violence, shaping societies into obedience. The digital leash is tightening, often without debate or consent. The tools of repression are here and the line is being crossed. But there's hope. Communities are pushing back. In city councils and forums, people are questioning surveillance, demanding transparency and control. Some cities have banned facial recognition, proving resistance is possible. Locals argue for investing in community, not just more cameras and algorithms. These fights show technology should serve people, not control them. Informed, organized citizens can challenge surveillance and win. We don't have to accept every new technology blindly. The front lines of digital rights are local, and real change starts with us. It's easy to feel hopeless in a world of a billion unblinking eyes. But the fight back against pervasive surveillance has already begun. It's about becoming smarter and more aware. The first step is simply to see the cameras for what they are. It starts with digital hygiene, like using a privacy-focused browser. It might mean putting tape over your laptop camera. Beyond individual actions, there is a growing movement of organized advocacy, campaigning for stronger privacy laws. This shift in awareness is the most critical defense we have. Once you understand what is at stake, you can no longer be a passive participant. So where does that leave us? Are we doomed to live in a digital cage of our own making? Or can we find a way to coexist with this technology without sacrificing our freedom? The future is not yet written. The ending depends entirely on what we do next. It depends on our willingness to stay informed, to ask hard questions, and to demand better from those in power. It requires us to move from being passive consumers of technology to being active and engaged digital citizens. The path forward involves embracing a new kind of literacy. A literacy not just of words and numbers, but of data and algorithms. We need to understand the bargain we are making when we use technology. We need to teach our children how to protect their privacy online. This is not about rejecting technology, it's about mastering it, understanding its power, and respecting its risks. Imagine that final shot, a person moving through this world fully aware. Ultimately, awareness is our only true shield. We are all that person in the crowd, and we are not alone.